I'm going to be replacing the rear wheel hub. That's not in focus, is it? Rear wheel hub on a 2013 Kia Sportage. I found out that the bearing was bad. When I turned a corner, I heard a little squeaking. I touched the middle of the rim and it was quite warm, warmer than usual. So since I can only do this with one hand, hold the phone, I'll do it in steps. Bear with me. Okay, wheels off. You'll notice that I also have a jack stand. Never work on the car with only a jack. Make sure you have a jack stand. So wheels off. Next step is to remove the brake caliper, which is right there. You got a 17 millimeter and a 14 millimeter. Now what you do is you just bring them one against the other like this to loosen it. Okay, you got two screws, one there and one there. Okay, I removed both of the bolts, and you have to remove the caliper now. This is the caliper here, and it comes right off like so. And be very careful with it because of the hose. You don't want to kink the hose or anything. So be very gentle with it, and just bring it over here. Make sure it doesn't fall on the ground. Don't let it dangle. Next step is to remove your brake pads, which are right there, and then your caliper bracket, which is right there. And again, caliper bracket, there's two bolts in the back. Okay, so like I said, there's two bolts on the caliper bracket. One of them is right there. I removed it, and the second one is in here. So what you have to do is you have to use a closed box end wrench and try to get in there one way or another. Okay, caliper bracket has been removed, as you can see right there, and the two bolts I was talking about, one there, they're 14 millimeter, and again it's right in here, and you don't have much room to work with, so I find a box end wrench works the best. It's 14 millimeter, and the box end that I used was a 9/16, which seems to work quite well. Okay, next step is we have to remove the rotor. In order to remove the rotor, first thing you have to do is remove these two screws. They're installation screws. Best way to remove them, because they're hard, is to turn around and use one of these El Cheapo impact screwdrivers. So what you do is you put it in there and you give it a good whack with the hammer, and it will loosen the screw. They're not very expensive. They're only about $8. I bought mine about 30 years ago, and that's how often I use it. This is about the fourth time. Okay, so I've removed the two screws. If you can't get the screws out, you can drill them out. They're only there for installation and they're not really important. So to take the rotor off, it'll come right off like that. If you can't get it off, just give it a tap with a hammer here and here. Don't hit it here, obviously, because you'll bend the rotor. Now, the one thing about this car, it's a 2013, and you'll notice there's no rust at all on it. This on the brakes is just because it's been sitting for about almost a week, and it rained a few days ago. So there's no rust, and that helps a lot. So I'm going to take the rotor off and be right back. And now we get to the hub. This is the hub itself, and what you'll see is there's four bolts, one there, and on the bottom as well. So again, just come in from the back, and you might have to use a combination of extensions on your dowels, not on your dowels, but on your sockets in order to get to it. It's a 14 millimeter, and you just have to get at it. They're quite easy to remove. I've loosened all four of the bolts. I removed three of them, there's just one left. So again, I can't do this with just one hand, so I'm just going to remove that. And you can see that the hub comes right off, and the backing plate for your emergency brake, that's also loose, so you have to just be careful that doesn't fall off. So there's the old hub. I just removed it. That took me about 20 minutes in all, and that's also stopping to film. So I got the old one there, and the new one's right there, so I'm just going to put the new one in, and again, use both hands just to make sure that your backing plate is on properly. And to do that, just make sure a couple of your bolts are still in there. I've got two of them that are still holding this up, and that'll act for a guide. Okay, so the new hub is on. I've been at it for 20 minutes right now, and again, that's stopping to film this, so I just have to do the reverse of what I did before. Put the rotor on, screws, the caliper bracket, caliper, pads, or the pads first, then the caliper, and that's it. Thanks for watching.